That's not my focus right now. 6 words delivered in a deliberately deflecting tone, and just like that, Kevin Stefanski crystallized the Browns' current quarterback dilemma, and more importantly, what he won't be talking about publicly: Shedeur Sanders' readiness to step into a backup or starting role. Put bluntly, Stefanski's line is a coach's way of buying time and buying peace. It signals that the immediate priority is stabilizing the offense and evaluating the man he plans to hand the keys to next, Dillon Gabriel. Not running a media-driven audition for a 22-year-old rookie who still hasn't taken a regular season snap. But beneath the rhetoric, there's a lot this 6-word verdict implies, and a good deal to unpack about how the Browns see their present and their short-term future. Why the spotlight landed on Shedeur Sanders. Name is impossible to ignore. He's the son of a Hall of Famer, a high-profile college star whose accuracy and pocket touch were widely praised, and a player who carried massive hype into the NFL. Add to that the Browns' offense sputtering early and the starter Joe Flacco underperforming, and any team observer would expect fans and pundits alike to clamor for a change. When you draft quarterbacks, there's always a temptation to push the rookie into the fire to see what he has. When the veteran struggles, that temptation intensifies. So why is the coaching staff pushing back? Several practical reasons. 1, experience gap in roster construction. Flacco is 40 and offers a baseline of experience. Gabriel is the planned developmental bridge. Shedeur, a 5th-round pick, was more of a long-term project for many teams, and that matters. Teams rarely hand meaningful midseason snaps to a rookie third stringer unless injuries force the issue or the team has decided to pivot toward a rebuild. The Browns appear to be preserving both options. Give Gabriel a real look now and keep Sanders in the conversation for the longer evaluation. Number 2, game readiness beyond the hype. Accuracy and college production are necessary but not sufficient. NFL defenses, blitz packages, and in-game adjustments raise the bar. Coaches want to be sure a quarterback can process at NFL speed, handle pre-snap checks, and protect the football. Stefanski's "not my focus" line hints that he doesn't believe Shedeur is yet the answer to those concerns, or at least that the team prefers to evaluate immediate need through Gabriel first. 3, organizational optics and development plan. The Browns have 2 first-round picks in 2026. That point changes everything. If the team thinks it might chase a top-tier QB next year, they'll be less willing to accelerate a rookie's development during a short-term win-now window. Keeping Shedeur in the wings, getting him reps, teaching him the system, and letting pressure build only if and when Gabriel fails preserves flexibility. What this means for Dillon Gabriel. The Browns are signaling a commitment to give Gabriel a legitimate look. He was a 3rd-round pick for a reason. Pro-ready traits, accuracy, and the mental makeup to run a pro-style offense. If the staff is about to turn the offense over to him in London, that's a meaningful vote of confidence. The immediate stakes are how Gabriel handles a tough schedule and whether he can show consistency and ball security. If he stabilizes the offense and reduces turnovers, the Browns have a path forward without spending a premium draft pick this offseason. If he struggles, the team has multiple contingency plans. Shedeur's true test: timing and opportunity. For Shedeur, the path forward is clear but narrow. Continue to develop, avoid off-field distractions, and be ready to capitalize if Gabriel stumbles or if the Browns decide to prioritize a full evaluation late in the season. There are a few realistic scenarios for his short-term future. Deep evaluation later in the year. If the Browns slide out of contention, they may turn to Shedeur for tape and to gauge whether he's worth keeping long-term or packaging in a trade. That would give him a real audition while preserving the team's ability to shop the 2026 class. Limited emergency role now. He could remain the emergency 3rd stringer, dressing as part of the roster bubble in case of injuries. That allows him to learn the system from the sideline without the pressure to produce now. Trade or active promotion. If he flourishes in practice and the organization gets creative, there's a non-zero chance he's promoted to the active 2 QB depth chart. Conversely, if the Browns decide they prefer a veteran backup, they could trade him for depth elsewhere. The media and fan waves matter, but they don't decide roster moves. Expect the public conversation to remain loud. Fans want drama, highlight plays, and a quick fix when a team sputters. The media will feed the narrative that Shedeur deserves a shot. But NFL roster decisions are rarely made on social sentiment alone. They're a collision of medical evaluations, investment horizons, salary cap considerations, and long-term strategy. Stefanski's comment is a reminder that winning games and coaching the team come before satisfying the subplot, what the Browns should do and likely will. If you view this from the front office's perspective, the right approach is incremental and measured. 1. Give Gabriel an honest starter's window. Meaningful game reps, not just mop-up duty. Clearly defined metrics for success: turnover rate, third down efficiency, situational execution. 2. Continue to develop Shedeur off the field and in practice. Targeted reps against first-team looks, controlled live reps, and mentorship. If he shows growth, promote him to active QB2 when the timing makes sense. 3. Keep options open for 2026. With 2 first-round picks, the Browns can afford to evaluate their current options and still enter next year's draft with flexibility. That's the luxury few teams have, and it informs every decision this season. 4. Communicate with the roster. Internal messaging matters. Players need to understand why decisions are made. Clear, consistent communication reduces locker room noise and keeps the team focused. Bottom line, Stefanski's "that's not my focus right now" is less a dismissal of Shedeur Sanders and more a statement of priorities. The Browns are managing a live, messy situation: an aging veteran underperforming, a rookie, Gabriel, ready for his shot, and a highly visible third rookie who carries baggage and promise in equal measure. How Cleveland balances short-term competitiveness with long-term evaluation will determine whether Shedeur becomes a central figure in their future or a convenient piece in a larger strategic reshuffle. For Shedeur himself, the message is simple: be patient, be coachable, and be ready. The NFL hands out opportunity in small doses. When it comes, you either take it or you watch someone else hold it. Kevin Stefanski's 6-word reply, "That's not my focus right now," did more than deflect. It quietly announced the Browns' view of the situation. Shedeur Sanders, the high-profile rookie who's dominated headlines since Cleveland drafted him, is not being fast-tracked into meaningful playing time this season. Cleveland's quarterback room is messy by design. Joe Flacco remains the starter despite inconsistent play. Dillon Gabriel sits next in line after earning the staff's confidence, and Sanders has been relegated largely to scout team duties and limited practice reps. Stefanski's terse line wasn't dismissive so much as practical. The coach made clear the team is focused on stabilizing an offense that hasn't produced consistently, not on feeding into media-driven narratives about the most talked-about rookie on the roster. The reasoning is straightforward. Gabriel was chosen ahead of Sanders in the draft and has already earned trust through camp and practice. He's closer to being game-ready in the eyes of coaches who evaluate readiness by grasp of the playbook, processing speed, and how a player handles in-game adjustments. Sanders, for all his college production and natural talent, brings baggage of heightened attention and a personality that can be a distraction, not because he wants to be disruptive, but because every comment and every appearance draws an outsized spotlight. Coaches worry about introducing that variable into a locker room already trying to correct course. That doesn't mean Sanders is sidelined forever. Football is relentlessly opportunistic. Injuries, turnovers, or a dip from Gabriel could push the rookie into the rotation quickly. Strong practice showings or clear evidence of growth in the mental elements of the position would speed the timeline. Conversely, if Gabriel stabilizes the offense and Flacco remains serviceable, Sanders could spend the season developing behind the scenes, a long-term asset rather than an immediate solution. There's also a roster construction angle. The Browns hold valuable draft capital for 2026, 2 first-rounders, and aren't afraid to keep shopping for a long-term answer at quarterback. Evaluating Sanders in a low-pressure setting, rather than thrusting him into starts he's not prepared for, preserves options. It gives Cleveland more clarity on whether to keep investing in Sanders' development or to pursue an external blueprint for the future. Stefanski's short answer did 2 things. It calmed an immediate media storm and signaled patience. The Browns are prioritizing the team's present needs. Right now, that means getting the offense functioning while keeping their eyes on next year. If circumstances change, so will the plan. Until then, Sanders remains an intriguing piece of Cleveland's broader strategy, but not the centerpiece of this moment.